NHL Nightly with your host, the sportsman, a.k.a. Pierre Lebowski, a.k.a. Jeremiah Maxwell. And with him, as always, maybe Pearlo, Wisdom, and Rico in Barry.
Hey, what's up? We got degenerate Bostonian with us today. Just me and him right now. Let's see if we see Pearlo. I don't think Rico. I think Rico not till after the 23rd. I think he's in Northern Ontario. I met some Ontario people in Chitna in Copper River, Alaska. Just like mobile, like doing a tour all over. So, and I met a guy, a couple from Boston in the same day that were there doing the same thing. Retired guy just doing his thing, man. So, let's see. Throw this up. This episode is brought to you by Fans for Sports Network. Thanks. We're not putting the podcast up. We don't have any special guests or anything. It's just me and Mike talking about all the craziness that's been happening. And I saw today. So today, the official day, July 16th, was Joe Pavelski retired from professional hockey. That was it became official. So that was one NHL transaction that became official. Bunch of entry-level deals. I thought the biggest deal that's been signed since we kind of really haven't talked anything was, there was that Jake Chiasson Xavier Bourgault trade for Yarventi. So they trade two centers to Ottawa for Roby Yarventi. That happened 2 days ago. That was kind of an interesting trade, but I figure probably, hey, Lucy, how's it going?
Hello.
Oh, you got somebody at the house? You got something you got to do?
No, I was saying that to Lucy.
Oh. I was going to say they probably did that trade because that whole Matthew Savoy trade. I know that Buffalo got killed on that trade, but I kind of thought that trade was not that bad of a deal for them. And hey, Pearlo, how's it going? I know you did a show yesterday, but we're just trying to get caught back up and just say hey to everybody. We got Mike here. I think this will be it. I'm not ready for football season, Lucy. There's a lot of time left in the summer. I can give two shits, honestly. I'm sure that Pearlo doesn't care because he's Canadian and Mike is a Patriots fan, and I think it's going to be a while before I'm assuming you're a Patriots fan. It's going to be a while before again, I think.
Not
really. What?
Not really. I'm actually a huge Michigan fan. So I was pretty stoked for the Natty, but I don't follow the NFL all that much.
How about the college game came out first time in over a decade that they release a college video game for kids to play.
I'm pretty
cool.
stoked.
That was
did you probably my go-to.
Did you
no, because I haven't updated.
Okay.
I'm going to. I haven't yet. I've been kind of snoozing, but that was my go-to thing, like back when I was in high school and college, was like just playing NCAA, even when I was like 8 years old. I didn't care. I didn't care at all.
No, it's a fun game, man. I like the recruiting part of it, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, I did get it for myself and played a little bit yesterday, after we got back Saturday from fishing. So, so we were just talking about before you popped in, Pearlo, that today was the official day Joe Pavelski retired. I guess that officially went through today. So that sucks to see that guy. I do believe he will get in the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame like right away, but I don't know about anything else. I saw Brett Sutter retired from professional hockey. I don't think he was playing in the NHL, but he was in the Kings organization. He's like 29, so I don't think he played at all. I don't think he played at all since like 2016, 2017.
Tampa Bay was the last time he played, I think, in the NHL or something like that.
Well, I've got here, it says he had a two-way contract with Minnesota. Well, no, and with the Kings in 15-16, it looks like. Yeah, when he was 28. Yeah. Okay. So he's 37, currently 37 anyway. So I didn't see anything major go. The Byfield deal was the big thing I saw that got signed. That seems like LA actually got him on a pretty good term for a pretty yeah. I imagine your son is obsessed with that game, Lucy. It was really popular here. So yeah, 5-year, $31.25 million contract extension for Byfield. I think that was one of the reasons why I think a lot of us were like, why did they sign or make the trade for Pierre-Luc Dubois in the first place? Because they knew they were going to have to lock some of these younger guys up. Eventually, they're going to have to figure out how to pay these guys. So that'll be interesting. So, Pearlo, in your neck of the woods, the Edmonton Oilers, I actually like this move for both deals. They send Jake Chiasson and Xavier Bourgault, both centers, to Ottawa for Roby Yarventi, who's a left winger. They also sent a 2025 fourth-round pick in the deal. I believe Ottawa did, or I believe Edmonton did. So I don't know. Do you know those players? I know Bourgault was the top-rated guy until you guys traded for Savoy. What was your thoughts on that one?
Well, the problem with Bourgault was he kept on coming into camp under he kept on coming into camp in the lower grade of being efficient. How do I say this right? He was out of shape. So he kept on coming into camp out of shape. And
from Shawinigan College. He's from
his points regressed in the AHL. So they went with Gerventi because Gerventi is not really a guy that has a high hockey IQ, but at least he is trying. Bourgault doesn't even seem like he's trying. So they gave up a guy that they didn't know what they were going to get with him because of his way of going through his progression. They didn't like it, and so they bring in a guy that doesn't have a very high IQ in Gerventi, but at least he's trying. Bourgault doesn't even look like he's trying.
Well, and this is going to be the last year of that deal anyway, so he's 22. He's going to make $920. He signed in 2022, 2023, a 3-year deal with the Oilers for $3.5 million, including a signing bonus of $277,000 with $3.5 million guaranteed and an average annual salary of 1.1. But he wasn't playing. Obviously, he wasn't playing in the NHL. So this is going to be the last year of his deal anyway with Ottawa, and then he'll become an RFA. So probably just we're going to see if a change of scenery. I don't know where Shawinigan College is. I don't know where he's from.
Shawinigan is in Quebec. All I know is that he came into camp out of shape every single year. So what do you do with that? And if you get anything back from that, then you're probably doing okay. He was out of shape.
Sure,
maybe
yeah.
You do the change of scenery, maybe he'll wake up and mature.
I just felt it felt like you guys had a glut at center at this point, re-signing Henrique and blah, blah, blah. You could trade these two young centers and get a young winger where the winger is probably going to be more of an impactful player for the Oilers. That's how I looked at it, not knowing really specifics on the thing.
Bourgault doesn't really he doesn't right now. He doesn't project as an NHL. And you have Harvey, or the one they got back. He's got lots of spunk, but he's got lots of spunk, but he doesn't have much NHL IQ. But at least he has spunk. So I kind of like the trade. He's got some spunk to him. He's trying, but Bourgault wasn't even trying.
Well, and also, like, it feels like almost the same situation with Yarventi. He's a little bit older, or no, I'm sorry, he's about the same age. He's kind of at the end. He'll have next season to play, and then he'll be an RFA as well. So kind of a swapping of assets that were maybe didn't quite
Ottawa thinks that they're going to get the best out of Bourgeau, and I hope they do, because the kid's got a lot of talent. If you can get him to mature, then Ottawa will win the trade, because he has way more natural talent than Jarventi. So
Jarventi's a Finnish player, by the way. Finnish.
Yeah, he's got way more natural talent than Jarventi. He doesn't have much drive.
Well, Jarventi was a second-round pick, and Bourgeau was a first-round pick. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think he was like 28th or something like that.
He was 22nd overall in 2021.
22nd.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's probably when Edmonton had their pick, right?
So maybe Ottawa thinks that they can get this kid to mature, and
Also, Jake,
he's got a lot of talent. Obviously, you don't pick him that high if he doesn't have the talent.
Have you seen the Bruins pick?
What?
Pearlo, have you seen the Bruins first round picks? They don't have to have talent to be drafted in the first round.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. But you know what's funny? They always end up making it. They always find players elsewhere. That's the thing with them, is that they always find guys. I mean, like, I didn't hear one thing about who's the kid that started for him this year that was super young. I think he was on Team Canada.
Boston has an advantage that they can get the college kids, because everybody wants to play for Boston.
But Pearlo, the kid that played for them this year was a Canadian junior kid that was 19 that started the year. I'm trying to think of his name. Patras. That kid's not an American college kid.
He was Quinnipiac won a national title.
Good point.
Oh, was but is he Canadian though? I believe he's Canadian. He played on team.
He did play for Team Canada, but he was
because some of these Canadian kids, i.e. Jacqueline Celebrini, which, by the way, we know that too. We could talk about that. Celebrini obviously not coming back. He is going to play his rookie year. Sort of a bummer. I kind of was hoping he would be back with BU one more year. I feel like they didn't, I worry about the development of Will Smith and Celebrini, but we'll see how that goes. It's going to be interesting.
Celebrini's going to turn pro. He's going to go.
Yeah, he's signed.
It's already a done deal, man. They're selling his jersey in the selling his jersey in the Sharks thing. So yeah, that happened before I left for fishing. So good stuff, man. I saw Braden Schneider signed a 2-year, $4.4 million extension. He's an RFA. Some RFA deals, but real interesting. I mean, I wonder. I see Tidja Ginla signed a rookie deal. Man, they gave him quite a bit of money, huh? $5.925 million. So must be bonuses mixed in that. Ryan Suter signs a 1-year, $775,000 deal. The real significance of this with St. Louis Blues is that Ryan Suter is going to be one of like 23 players to play over 1,500 games. That's that's impressive. You could say, he's washed at this point in his career, but if he's paying bottom six, in the bottom six there, which I guarantee that's probably where he'll be with the Blues, and gets to 1,500 games, still pretty impressive. So, so Andrew, I'm not watching really anything, man. I'm not watching CFL. I think we could watch CFL on ESPN Plus, but I'm not really watching baseball or anything. I was playing some of the college football video game. My PlayStation decided to die. So, Tice Thompson, Tage's younger brother, signed a 1-year deal with the Islanders. And then some other arbitrary just draft signings and stuff like that. I did see on Spit and Chicklets today, Zeev Buyam, he did say he was 100% going back to play at University of Denver. So he'll be back. Pretty impressive how good that guy was defensively, and still had I think he had 50 points in 30 some games. Yeah, just unbelievable how good he is. So I can't believe we're going to look back at that one and be like, that kid went 12th. And a lot of teams are going to regret that one, I think. So, I also, the big news I put in our thing was Evgeny Kuznetsov looks like Ian Olin from Russian Machine Never Broke has an article out there. Looks like he might be going back to KHL, which is crazy because I think he had 2 years left on his NHL deal. Boy, the hits keep coming for the Carolina Hurricanes, man. Yeah, so Chris Cirillo, sorry for Russian Machine Never Breaks. Sorry, I said Ian Olin, but Chris Cirillo. Evgeny Kuznetsov reportedly signs 4-year contract with SKA St. Petersburg to return to KHL. So, what's the I'll just look at what he has remaining on his NHL. I mean, he doesn't get that money anymore, but that was interesting news. I was kind of shocked. He actually played fairly well for them in the playoffs and stuff. So I was a little bit surprised on that one.
I just noticed it's a trend. Like I noticed a lot of Russian players leave the NHL early to go back home.
So he has 1 year left on his deal. Okay. And that's only 3.9 against the salary cap because the Capitals retain. Now I wonder if he terminates his deal, does that mean the Capitals don't have that money retained? And does that mean that I'm assuming Carolina doesn't have the 3.9 because they can LTIR him or whatever. But I wonder if the Capitals can void that 3.9 million. That's going to be really interesting. That's something I would be curious to find out from.
To my knowledge, when they choose not to play, you don't have to pay them.
No, yeah, but I mean, so here are the Capitals in the trade with Carolina. They retained 50% on his deal. So do they no longer have to hold that 50% next year, which that helps them out big time because everybody's like, oh, they're 13 million over the cap. They're 13 million over the cap because they have TJ Oshie and Nick Backstrom on. They'll go into LTIR. Oshie and Backstrom are not coming back. That offsets those deals they made, bringing in Dubois and then signing Waugh and, making the trades that they made. So, I mean, the Nick Jensen deal, that basically offsets the Jacob Chychrun stuff. So it's going to be interesting there. So yeah, I really wonder what the answer to that one is. Somebody will have to chime in. We got a good amount of people listening on Twitter and YouTube here. And I'll pop over to Instagram because we got that going. Haven't seen anybody on the Insta, but we got some stuff going. I'm repping the same jerseys from last show. So, who we thought did really good in the offseason. I knew everybody would have Nashville up there. I still am not convinced, but we shall see. And then
I agree with you there. I'm not totally convinced with what Nashville did either.
That's okay, guys. I've drank plenty of the Nashville.
I like what Chicago did.
Yeah,
I think, and I like what Washington did too. And I mentioned that because you didn't want to mention it, but I think Washington did very well in the offseason.
Well, we didn't talk about this. Happened since you brought up Capitals, Pearlo. I just don't want it to become a Capitals. Always coming from me.
Right. I thought that last time, though. I thought Washington did very well with what they did.
Yeah, you're not alone. I mean, you're not alone. I totally agree. Brian McClellan steps down as the general manager, just moves over to the president of hockey ops. They bring in Patrick, who's been with the organization a while. The Capitals. Also, if you listen to Chicklets, Biz ran into Brooks Orpik in Wyoming. Brooks Orpik, fellow Massachusetts man, also former Stanley Cup champion with the Penguins and the Caps, works for the Capitals organization, says he loves it. So really cool stuff, man. That's pretty cool. It feels like they're running really good. I was really excited to see the moves they made. I feel like they're getting better on the youth side and getting better, adding some nice veteran depth there with the Capitals. So they're going to be competitive, but yet still be able to build through the draft there. And Ryan Leonard for sure not coming back, not going to play. I expect if he does play for the U.S. or for the Capitals, it will be either in the playoffs if they make it or late in the season. So we won't see him in. And he looks like he's going to be a really good player and fit well. So
he will be.
I think
quickly.
Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
Honestly, I think he's going to be like McCarr. He's just going to right in, no hesitation, chuck him in the playoffs. Like he's just going to roll in, no problem. He's NHL ready now, and it was shocking that he didn't go.
I think another year isn't going to hurt him though.
No,
I agree with TJ. I think they're being cautious, but Leonard's ready to play right away.
Well, the Capitals aren't being cautious. Ryan Leonard is doing this on his own because all indicators are
they
wanted him for the playoffs.
He's playing right from the get-go. Leonard is one hell of a player.
Yeah, the Capitals wanted him. Go ahead, Mike.
No, he's a hell of a student. He's got a 3.9, and he brags about how smart he is and that he's an honor student and that he's not. So I think part of the issue is he wanted to be in school to go to school. I think that's why he actually isn't going to the league, which in my mind boggles me. But
yeah, the Capitals tried to get him by everything I've heard. They were pushing for him to sign with them so he could play in the playoffs with them because they were devoid of talent in the playoffs. And what do? They go out and get Pierre-Luc Dubois. They trade basically an expiring deal with Darcy Kemper that's going to be over next year or the year after. That salary was $5.9 million out. They bring in Dubois. Yeah, he makes a little more. But that being said, they needed centers that could play in the NHL because trading away Kuznetsov, Backstrom retiring, and then, to add. So but by all indications were Brian McClellan was pushing really hard. And then I didn't read the article. I was going to ask if you guys did, but Steven Stamkos in the Players Tribune did an article saying goodbye to the Tampa fans. I don't know if you guys read that. I didn't get a chance to read that, just having traveled and stuff, but was curious if you guys read that and were
I have not read it.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, we suck on that front. Yeah. I'm
trying to find, I don't have cap friendly, so it's hard to do.
Oh, well, you don't need cap friendly, Pearlo. The Puckpedia works just fine. They've added a bunch of tools.
No, they don't have a depth chart. I'm looking at depth charts.
Well, you can use Daily Face-Off. They have theirs. So
no, they don't go deep enough. What I have is anybody out there listening right now, go to Forecaster NHL. If you want deep depth charts that is like kind of close to cap friendly, go there. And that's where I'm going right now. It's hard to read though, but
yeah. So Saravelli just dropped 5 hours ago. Blues announced defenseman Corey Krug has been diagnosed with pre-arthritic issues in his ankle and is hoping for a non-surgical intervention, but he's out indefinitely. And surgery, and if surgery will be required, he'll miss the entire season. One good thing for the Blues is they'll get cap relief in that thing. I never understood that deal in the first place. Thought that was kind of a crazy thing there. Yeah, so I didn't have any other NHL news. Was there anything you guys wanted to talk about specifically, or?
I was confused on Chicago. Like, I love all the signings they had. They brought in some big names. They brought in some veterans, and they've got a lot of youth, so I think they need it. Like, I'm just going with, like, are they trying to make a sincere cup run after the dumpster fire last year, or are they just trying to save face? Like, I love the signings. I really do, and I think they're going to make the playoffs, but maybe they make the playoffs. But
who again?
Like, I liked Brassard. I actually liked Maroon the most, simply because I'm a big bring in a veteran to help the young guys go. I was talking Chicago Blackhawks.
Oh yeah. Pearlo liked their moves. Yep.
Yeah, I'm like, they dumped a lot in for a team that sucked. I'm like trying to figure out, like, are they really making a cup run here, or am I,
the Blackhawks?
They just brought in so many guys. I'm like, what are they doing? Like, that's what I'm trying to figure
Well,
out.
they had to get off the cap floor for one.
That one.
Yeah, I mean, and two, you got to have players play around Bedard. They also they lost Nick Foligno for a good part of the year. Unfortunately, now that I think is his lot in life is that he just won't be healthy for an entire season. And then Taylor Hall, same deal. That guy can't stay healthy for the life of. So those guys, they were out for a lot of years. They're going to make a big impact on the Blackhawks. I definitely don't think they'll be. They could still be in contention for a top 5 pick, really, quite frankly, with that team regardless. I don't know. I mean, Pearlo, you got to be thinking the same thing. I don't think they're going to be a playoff team.
The problem is you got Bedard, who can do some crazy stuff. Their defense is actually really good, underrated. And it really does depend on what Hull, if he can actually stay healthy.
Yeah.
And all of that. It depends on all of that. I mean, I wouldn't bet on it, but when you got a guy like Bedard, crazy things can happen. They have better goaltending than they had. They have
I mean, Crosby didn't make the playoffs in his second.
They got Martinez from Vegas.
Yeah.
And so they have a stronger defense. I hate betting against guys like Bedard. I hate betting against them.
I think it's too early in his career.
I don't make the playoffs, but I think they're going to do better than a lot of people think. I will say this, though, and it's early and nobody's listening, so it won't matter. I think Arizona makes the playoffs.
You mean Utah?
Yeah, Utah. I think
by the way, Pearlo, we have almost 20 people listening, so we have people listening. So
I think Utah makes the playoffs. And that's in my early lean. I think Utah makes the playoffs. They got a great coach. They got a couple great defensemen in Sergachev and Marino. And they have very good forwards that are growing. I think they're going to surprise people early, sort of like what Philadelphia did last year. I don't think Philadelphia is going to make the playoffs this year. I picked them to be a bubble team last year because people wouldn't. They were going to surprise.
Well, now they're going to have Matvei Mishkov. They're going to have all these guys. They're going to have all these guys back. But
they're not surprising. They're not surprising anybody this year.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's the thing. I think Utah is going to surprise a lot of teams early, and I don't know if they'll make it, but I think they're going to be a lot closer than people think because they're going to surprise a lot of teams early. Chicago will also do that, but they'll fade off earlier and probably not make the playoffs. But it's going to be a tight year. It's going to be very tight, even more than last year. I'm going to be taking a lot more dogs than I did last year. I'm going to be taking a lot more dogs. San Jose is a better team this year.
Well, early in the year too, right? When they can sneak on, when teams have gotten better,
sneak up on teams and they think that they suck, but they really don't suck.
Yeah.
Like after about 10 games, because they got to learn how to play with each other and all that kind of stuff like that. But I think this is going to be one of the tightest years we've ever seen.
Yeah. I mean, I'm already ready to bet that Edmonton makes it back to the Cup Finals though and wins this next year. I think if they stay healthy, and then depending on what happens with Evander Kane, if they end up trading him and they can add maybe another bottom 6 guy there later in the year, I do think that they're going to.
My Edmonton Oilers prediction: Skinner is a healthy scratch by 50 games.
What?
Skinner is a healthy scratch before 50 games.
Really? So who's going to come in and play for him?
Anybody. The guy can't play defense to save his life. If you're going to play what
Jeff Skinner. My bad. Hey, so Pearlo, you got to be specific now.
I'm not talking about the goaltender.
No, I agree with you. I wouldn't be surprised in that. I don't think he's gonna. I agree with you.
You agree with me, Beard? Wow.
Yeah. No,
I don't think he's gonna be anything there. I don't think he's gonna be anything.
Yeah. No. I think that's a low risk signing for them. That guy, if he ends up potting 30 goals, great. If you have him on the wing, I mean, he's an outstanding skater. There's no doubt about that. He could skate with that team.
As a hockey.
But you're right. I agree with you. I don't think he plays. I mean, that was the knock. That's one of the things I heard the Buffalo beat reporters say. Like the reason, they bought him out because he was just god awful the second half of the season. He was so terrible in his own end. He just wasn't good. So
he doesn't even know what his own end is. So you got to hope that Knobloch is able to teach this guy to do something. And I don't see it. I think he's going to be a healthy scratch before 50 games in the season. Like people, we got Jeff Skinner. He didn't get nothing. I don't think he got anything.
I don't hate that assessment at all.
I'm surprised you agree with me. I'm actually even.
No. I have never been a Skinner guy. I just have always thought he was just not. Don't hate the guy or anything. I know he was a figure skater or whatever, but I don't have anything. What about you, Mike? We can talk a little surprises.
I don't think he'll be a healthy scratch by game 50. I do think he sucks, but I do think he stays in the top 6. I think he sees. I don't know, adequate top 6 minutes. I'm not saying he's going to be the number one, but I think 15 minutes a game will still be his thing. And for the plus minus people out there, yes, I do think he'll be a minus. I think he'll be a double digit minus, but
yeah.
I would take McLeod over Skinner all day long.
Well, that's the thing too. Like, I liked that ad for Buffalo. They needed grit and guys who can skate very good on their bottom there. I like that ad. And Matthew Savoy, I get that, and I know Hot Tech Hockey went on a huge rant about it. But I actually don't think they need Savoy. I think they have a ton of wing. Under Zach Benson came in and played really well for them this year. They got what they need offensively. They need to shore up that bottom 6, and they even have the defense. Really, these young guys, I think they're ready. They do need some consistent goaltending. Hopefully, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen and who's the young kid that came up, but they ended up sending him down, which I thought he should have played the entire year in the NHL or AHL. He was not ready. I think you cannot rush goalies. If they're not ready, they're not ready. I can't think of the kid's name, but
Letty, something like that. What's his name?
What's the kid? No,
not Letty.
Here, I got Puckpedia open here. I'll get it for you in just a second here. So Mike, just to what are who do you think your surprises early season? I know there was some development camps going on. Not everybody's done that, but who do you think will be a shocker next year? Oh, we didn't talk about Vancouver side and Seelov's 2-year deal. Obviously, they lost Casey DeSmith. That makes sense. They're going to have Seelovs and Demko. I really think that Vancouver will be decent next year too. I mean, they're not going to be as good, but they made some nice little additions there.
I'm actually going on Dallas, actually. I think Cameron Hughes, he's had 2 wonderful minor league seasons. He just signed a 2-way deal with Dallas. I think he solidifies himself this year as an NHL player. I think he's a name we're going to start talking about around All-Star, just after the All-Star break, as someone.
Devin Levi is the goalie I was thinking of. Go ahead.
Devin Levi, yeah.
Devin Levi was a freaking college where that kid never should have been thrown into the NHL like he was.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
So they have to sign Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen right now. He's an RFA right now. And then they've got Reimer and Levi for next season. So, but they got to, I think Luukkonen and Levi are their tandem.
So I think even going on goalies, actually Primo, who Levi replaced in college, Primo went to Montreal. He was NHL ready, and Montreal never gave him a chance. They brought in Allen, and they brought in.
Well, Allen they've had.
No, they brought in more something. I forget his name. Started with an M. Like they should.
Montembeault.
Thank you. Should have been Primo's spot. And they ruined it. Like I think
knowing Kent Hughes and how those guys are building that team in Gorton, they probably purposely did not want him to play. They aren't trying to be good. I don't even think next year, but I do think they'll take a leap. That's a team I would watch out for in Montreal. I think they're going to take a leap. I still think their back end is something to be desired, and then because their young guys haven't come up, but they do have Primo, they do have guys coming, so it's going to be interesting. Yeah, I'll be rooting for them.
That Demidov pick is going to help a lot. I mean,
Demidov, yeah.
That kid's got some freaking moves, man. He looks good.
By the way, 80 days till opening night. Same. Who wore 80 in the NHL that was a goalie, by the way? You know him well because he's on TV in the States.
Weeks?
Kevin Weeks wore 80 for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Yep, 80.
I'm looking forward to Capone joining Draisaitl and come playoff time out in Edmonton. I all sincerity, I will put that kid's speed, not his talent, but very clear, not his talent, but his speed against McDavid. I will put him against him.
Who?
Capone. He transferred out of Merrimack. He's going to be at BU this year playing with Eason. He was a third rounder picked by Edmonton. That kid can fly.
Okay.
I will put his speed against McDavid all day.
Wow, yeah.
Not his skills.
I saw Jordan Kyrou beat McDavid in the All-Star skill competition in Vegas at the fastest skater. Now, whether McDavid was 100% or not, and he's a little banged up, Kyrou is fast. So there are guys out there that are just as fast as McDavid. It's just for McDavid.
Barzal beat him too, right?
Yeah, Barzal's very fast, or he came very close this year to beating him. But the thing about McDavid is, how tall is he? It's like his legs are so very long, and he doesn't have to move them very much to get going really fast. That's kind of the thing about McDavid.
Yeah, he doesn't have to move them very much to move from side to side either.
Yeah.
When he's got the puck, like I'm not saying he's fastest skater ever, but with the puck on his stick, I don't think the only one I can think of that would be close would be Bure. Bure with the puck on his stick.
Yeah, but Bure wasn't tall like McDavid though, like super tall.
Yeah,
it's that stride thing Bure was fast. Shit, he probably was faster than McDavid, but it's just one of those things where it's like
with the puck on his stick, Bure was insane.
McDavid is too. Like I've never seen anybody move at his speed and be able to do what he does
with the puck on his stick. Yeah, I would say McDavid is the best. I'm just saying that the only one I could think of is Bure that would play with that kind of speed with the puck on his stick. But I don't think it's better than McDavid. But it's about the closest. Maybe Mario Lemieux is up there too.
Yeah, I kind of equate just big man that can skate. Lemieux, like Ovechkin. Lemieux is like 6'5". He's incredibly big. And Ovechkin's like 6'3". So, Ovechkin's a big guy, but it's like guys at the prime of their careers where they could really move Ovechkin can't skate, but he's 30 now.
The thing with Mario Lemieux is he usually had a couple guys laying all over him all over the ice. Because that was in the clutch and grab era. So I don't know. Maybe he might be the best. I don't know. But if defensemen were allowed to do what they did with Mario Lemieux, today against McDavid, would he be what he is? Like, you're not allowed to do that anymore. You know, back in Mary Lemieux's day, you could just jump all over. Remember some of those highlight reel goals he scored where he had two guys laying all over him and he put it in the top corner? Like, I don't know, man.
What about like, the breakaway he had where the guy's hooking him halfway through and everyone's like, oh, look, there's 11 penalties in today's game, but when it was played, there was none. And no one questioned it.
There was not a penalty, and they were hooking him and laying all over the ice. And people called him a whiner because he was complaining against it. I don't know, man. Mary Lemieux might be, when you look at the era he came up in, I don't know. He did some stuff that was like crazy that I don't even know that McDavid would be able to get through now because of the era he came up in. So even Gretzky said that he thinks that Mary Lemieux was the greatest of all time that he ever saw besides Gordie Howe, because that was his idol.
Well, I've heard Gretzky say Bobby Orr is the best player of all time. So.
No, Gordie Howe.
Bobby Orr. I've heard him say Bobby
Gordie
Orr.
Howe was his idol. So maybe Bobby Orr. My dad used to tell me that Bobby Orr was the only player he ever saw that was the best offensive and defensive player in the league. Period. Bobby Orr was the best defensive and offensive player in the league.
Okay, I don't want to debate this at all. I just want to finish talking about next year, so let's not go down this road. Mike, just say who you think you're gonna who's gonna be a surprise for you next year. Pick one. I like the kid that you said.
Cameron Hughes is going to be my biggest surprise. I think he solidifies himself as an NHLer, and I think he becomes a regular name down in Dallas. Team-wise, I actually think the Blackhawks are going to sleep their way into the bottom seed out there. First round knockout for sure, but I actually think they sleep their way in. And
you guys are both big eye on the Blackhawks.
San Jose has a 80-point season.
Who? You broke up there. Who's going to have?
San Jose. I think San Jose puts up 82 points this year.
Okay. Yeah, no, I like it.
Those are my two sleepers out west.
Yeah, we'll do NHL previews and stuff too. I mean, there isn't going to be any real news, unless somebody signs an offer sheet, right? So, hang in there, folks.
Causeway Street.
Yeah, what's going on with Jeremy Swayman, man? Like, are we going to see a deal get?
I think we're getting a new GM. That's what I think. It's
really.
He's gonna screw this up. That's what's gonna happen. He's gonna screw this up. Swayman's gonna get scooped. Unfortunately, Neely and Sweeney have a habit of sucking. Everyone in Boston will tell you that. Chiarelli was, way back when people hated his guts, and the kid's a gem. Everyone knows it, and this should be an easy sign. We have 8-6. Give him the 8-6. This is a no-brainer.
Well, I've heard from the rumor mill that I've heard his camp is asking for about 10.
His camp's in it. We don't have 10, so.
Yeah, I got you. But that's what I've heard is that Swayman's camp is asking for like 10, 8 times 10 or something like that. I don't know, man. He might be one of the best goalies out there right now. If I was picking a goalie for Team USA, the Olympics, the cup there, gonna be interesting. If I right now, I would go with Jeremy Swayman as the best American goalie right now today. I mean, yes, Onger, he's good. Yes, Thatcher Demko. Again, Onger hasn't been consistent enough for me, and Demko can't stay healthy. So if it's me, and I'm biased, obviously I'm very much biased because I'm Alaskan and he is from here. So, and he's not the first good goalie from Alaska. Pearlo had Ty Conklin playing for his Oilers back in the day. He's an Alaskan kid. So,
is he a Maine player too, Conklin?
I think he did play for Maine. Yeah.
Huh. Well, it's a trend here.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
wait a sec. Jen, who was your surprise player?
Cameron Hughes, Dallas. He's AHL player the last 2 seasons. He's got a 2-way deal, and I that's the guy. I'm like, I think he's going to be an NHLer, like a solid.
Wow.
I'm going to be in the league for the foreseen future this year.
Killer.
all right. Well, let's give us our final thoughts. I appreciate all the people that showed up and came and listened to us. Have a handful here on X, and we had a handful here on YouTube, and I don't know if we got anybody on Insta, but we were there for a while. So we're there, I think. Yeah, we're still there. We didn't get anybody on Insta, but we were live the whole time. And we were live on Twitch too, which sometimes we get people from that too. So I appreciate everybody. Give us your final thoughts, Pearlo.
Well, I didn't do my surprise, so obviously I think my surprise team will be Utah. I just think
I thought you said that already. You said that like 25 minutes ago.
My surprise team. So what else? Surprise player?
No, you don't have to give a surprise player. Just whatever the surprise was. That's whatever you think will be a surprise.
I think Utah is going to be a lot better than people think. I agree with GGN about Chicago. It's going to be a very close. It's going to be a very close season. I don't think there's too many teams falling off, except for Ottawa. I think Ottawa will be on the bottom of the league this year. And I think overrated. My most overrated team would be the LA Kings. I think the LA Kings missed this year.
Yeah, could be. How about you, Mike? Go ahead and give us your final thoughts.
I think Seattle comes alive. I don't know why I'm picking all the West tonight from a guy from Boston, but I think Seattle comes alive this year. I think that's everything that they've shaken up this offseason. I think they're in. I think that's my final thoughts. I want to see the Kraken back in the playoffs. So maybe it's a fan vote here.
Yeah, no, I think the Kraken ownership want to see the Kraken back in the playoffs. They were super. We got Rico. We got a surprise guest, Rico. What's up?
Dude,
Rico,
I just got home. Just got home from fishing, man.
Oh, nice, Rico. I met a couple that lived in Barrie, Ontario. They had a nice RV and a pull behind with a Jeep that went inside. So. Buddy made some ducats, but I met them in Chitina, Alaska, when I was fishing. So, what's up, Rico? We were just talking about some of the signings and surprise. What we think our surprises will be next year. What do you got?
I don't know, buddy. I didn't come too prepared because I've been on vacay here. I just want to pop in and say hey to you guys. So, I mean. Couple things I noticed today. The first picture of Stamkos with the Nashville jersey surfaced.
Yeah.
I saw that Pavelski retired as well too. Officially.
Yeah, that became official. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. Yep, yeah, absolutely.
No, man, it's been awesome. A lot of teams moving and shaking. A lot of stuff going on. The Marner stuff still up in the air as far as Toronto goes. So it looks like they're going to roll with him for the year.
They're not trading him unless it happens at the trade deadline. I think so. Yeah. Well, here's something you can answer. What's your favorite Batmobile of all time? Which one do you guys like?
4.
That's the 1997.
Yeah, 1997. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll say this for me. I grew up with the old Adam West one. That one is cool. But I really like the Tumbler. What about you, Mike?
I mean, I am a Tumbler fan, but I am going to go number 2 as my favorite there.
Oh, the 1989 Batman one. That's very cool, too. That's a close second for me, too, I think. Yeah. What about you, Rico?
What are these things? Is this like the next Batmobile they're thinking, and
No,
one's
that
These
was
are all
previous.
Batmobiles that have already been in the show. This is from Batman versus Superman. This is the
okay.
tumbler that was in the Chris Nolan movies. The one that Perlo likes is the one from Batman and Robin. This is also from Batman Forever, and then this is the 1989 one from the first movie with Michael Keaton, and then this is the old Adam West.
Oh wow!
From the
I mean, Michael Keaton was my favorite Batman, so I'll go with 1989 too.
Yeah, Michael Keaton was the best Batman, but I love the tumbler. That thing was cool as hell. Okay, well, on that note, that's a great way to end the show, man. Appreciate everybody coming out. We'll be back when we're back. I think we got 80 days till hockey season starts. We'll definitely have a couple more shows between then and there, and then we'll be back to the regular grind of the NHL season. Appreciate everybody for coming out, and we can hang out and BS afterwards, guys. But appreciate y'all. See you on the flip flop.